Make sure you download the KDUS AM 1060 app. That is your way to take everything from KDUS AM 1060 with you on the go. So you don't have to be in your car. You don't have to be in front of your computer. Just download the KDUS AM 1060 app. Register. Be logged in while you're listening, and you'll have a chance to win some prizes. The story of the Diamondbacks' first series, a split with the Chicago Cubs, could have been a disaster, could have been losing 3 of their first 4, if not for a huge rally, putting up a snowman. But the story so far for the Diamondbacks has been their offense. Through the first 4 games, they scored 27 runs. That is the 3rd most runs through the first series of the year in all of baseball. Only behind the Dodgers, who have scored 30 runs in one more game than the Diamondbacks, and the New York Yankees, who have scored 36 runs in 3 games, and that might have a lot to do with their bowling pin torpedo bat that they have been using. Don't know if many of you saw this over the weekend, but the New York Yankees are using this new bat that has more of the mass concentrated into the barrel of the bat. Looks like a bowling pin. It's being called the torpedo bat. Whatever it is, it worked out pretty well over the weekend for the Yankees. 36 runs in 3 games. They put up a 20 spot on the Brewers at one point over the weekend. But that's the company that the Diamondbacks have been keeping through this first series of the year. 2nd in all of baseball in average. They're hitting .329 through their first 4 games as a team. On base percentage, 2nd in all of baseball, .398. Only behind the Yankees. Their slugging percentage, 2nd in all of baseball, only behind the Yankees. Their OPS, 2nd at a .940, behind only the Yankees. The Diamondbacks, through the first series of the year, one of the best offenses. And to me, that is a bigger takeaway than how the starting pitching did or did not step up. Right, Zach Gallen struggled in his first start. You got a really nice start, bounce-back performance from Merrill Kelly. Like we mentioned on Friday, he felt like the perfect guy in that spot to help calm things after everybody freaking out over opening day and Zach Gallen not pitching his best. The offense is the story. Why is the offense the story? Why is 27 runs in 4 games my main takeaway? Because that was the question mark about this team. What do we talk about all spring? The Diamondbacks have the pitching staff. Corbin Burnes. He'll make his first start of the year tomorrow when they take on the Yankees. Zach Gallen, an up-and-down first start. Okay, we'll see how he bounces back. Merrill Kelly was the perfect, calm, steady hand that the Diamondbacks needed. Brendan Pfaadt, fresh off a newly signed, the ink still not dry on his contract extension. 6 innings of 3 runs. You take that from Brendan Pfaadt any single time he is out there. Eduardo Rodriguez, 5 1/3, 3 runs. You'd like to see him be a little bit better, but we know what the starting pitching is going to be. We know what the back end of this bullpen is going to be, give or take. The question mark we had, how are they going to replace Christian Walker at first base? How are they going to replace Jock Peterson at the DH spot? Where were they going to get the runs from? This was an offense last year, led baseball in runs per game. We all said that it didn't feel likely that they were going to be able to repeat that performance. You had Mike Hazen talk about how they were going to take a step back offensively because of the guys that they lost. Well, so far, I know this is a dangerous game, everybody. We're going to play math here on the radio. 27 divided by 4 is more than 6, right? Is that I'm getting thumbs up from the other room. That's more than 6. It's more than 6. Last year, they scored a little north of 5 runs per game in the early stages of the season. Yes, it's a small sample size. Yes, it's only 4 games. Yes, let's see it continue. But our question mark was, would they be able to score enough runs? Would they be able to be somewhat similar to last year's offense? So far, they've been better. Corbin Carroll has looked better, and I know there's some concern. I always like to gauge the perspective of the people in the building, casual sports fans, on how things are going. And there was a lot of Corbin Carroll talk in the building today with some of the people that I've talked to. And it's always intriguing to me to see how people worry about certain players, and Corbin Carroll is a player that a lot of people have been worried about. And I got to tell you, while maybe not necessarily immediately seeing the results, doesn't he look like a different player? Doesn't it feel like he's a different player? See how hard he's hitting the ball? Hit the hardest ball of his career in terms of exit velocity. That's the stuff you look at to see if a player is locked in. Is our swing long? Are we striking out a lot? Are we not picking it up out of the pitcher's hand? Okay, we've got problems. If I'm hitting the ball really, really hard and I'm just hitting it at people, I'm just getting some bad luck. That's going to turn. I'm going to get hot here, and those balls that I'm hitting 110, 112 miles per hour, they're not going to find somebody's glove. They're going to splash down in the pool. They're going to be in the gap. So I'm not worried about Corbin Carroll at all, and I'm not worried about this offense at all. Everybody stepping up for this team. You don't have an 8-run inning like they did last night or yesterday afternoon without having some talent in that lineup. Down 6-2, you put up a snowman in the 8th inning to come back. You don't have innings like that happen if there's not talent, and everybody's contributing. Ketel Marte is off to a hot start. Perdomo's off to a hot start. Gabby Moreno is off to a hot start. We're gonna talk about this in hour number 2 of the program. Eugenio Suarez is off to a hot start. Alec Thomas had a good game yesterday. Everybody is contributing, and that's what this team is going to need to sustain. They can't just look at Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte and say, you guys handle it. Suarez has to step up and provide that power. Josh Naylor has to step up. He's hitting 400 to start the year. Drew a couple of walks in the game yesterday. I've told you that I think he's going to be a player that everybody is going to fall in love with. For those that didn't know who Josh Naylor was before getting traded here, off to a good start. A very good first impression. You're having everybody contribute. And you're going to need that because at some point, Ketel Marte is going to go cold. At some point, Corbin Carroll is going to go cold, and he's going to struggle. That's baseball. It happens. So you need other guys to step up, and so far, everybody has stepped up. Everybody has contributed. And instead of us needing to maybe calm everybody down from a team that started 1-3 and lost 3 of 4 at home to a Cubs team that isn't particularly great, instead, 2-2, nice rally yesterday to send the fans home happy. A nice rally yesterday to end this series on a good note. And I don't know how you're not overjoyed and thrilled with the way this offense is performing when that was one of the big concerns we had going into the year of did they make the right decision at first base? Was it the right call to go internal at DH? Are you going to have your young players step up and contribute? So far, the answer is yes. And now we're going to get to see them against one of the best teams in all of baseball tomorrow when they take on the New York Yankees. I mean, before the 10-run outburst yesterday, before they scored 8 runs in the 8th inning, they had scored 17 runs in their first 3 games. They were already off to a blistering start. They then added a snowman. They added a 10 spot, and they won 10-6 to conclude this series. We'll talk about the pitching as the show goes on. Corbin Burnes will make his first start for the Diamondbacks tomorrow. It is a travel day for them, so a nice 4-game series to start the year at home. But now it is off to the Bronx, and it is off to play the New York Yankees. This is offense number 1 in baseball versus offense number 2 in baseball very early on in the season. The torpedo bat versus Eugenio Suarez, right? That's the big power battle that we're going to see here over the next couple of days. So that gets underway tomorrow.